What's up, everybody? My name is Adam Palmer. This is Daily Nonsense. On today's show, we're going to be talking about the World Series matchup that has been locked up and some info about how many Topps basketball cards there are going to be in this first release. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you're a new viewer, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any future Daily Nonsense content. Let's get into the episode. The World Series matchup is finally set, and we are going to see a Toronto versus LA World Series. I think that's very exciting. You know, I would have obviously liked to seen the Mariners make it to their first World Series. And I don't know, the Dodgers just feel like they're such a powerhouse that I really think it's going to be tough to beat them. But I also think we just saw probably one of the most dominant elimination game performances of all time. And then one of maybe the biggest clutch performances of all time with George Springer's 7th inning home run where they're down, the Toronto's down 2, it's bottom of the 7th, runners on second and third, and he hits a home run, they go up 4-3. And then that's basically all she wrote for that game. I mean, the tides turn very quickly. And it's too bad for players like, Julio Rodriguez. Would have loved to see him in a World Series. I do worry that we're going to see kind of a boring World Series here. Like, the Dodgers feel like such a powerhouse, and that other teams, it's going to be hard. It's going to be almost impossible for them to compete. But I think we've gotten to the point in baseball where it's like, and I know this is not like a new take, I think people have said this, but we need to be looking at these owners that are not putting good players out on the field, this Sacramento, I guess now, or Vegas, or wherever the A's are now, the Pirates, I think Cleveland, I think could be in that conversation. I mean, these teams, there's no way, I know the thing that they say is that they're losing money. It's like, well, they're business owners. They're not just team owners. Like, if they were losing money, they would sell the team, And so it's I don't think it's that black and white. I would say Ohtani probably had one of the greatest games of all time. I know that there was a pitcher, this was back in the 70s during a regular season game, a pitcher threw a no-hitter and also hit 2 home runs with 3 RBIs, and the team won 4-0. So sure, a no-hitter with 2 home runs, that's probably a little bit more impressive. But to do what Ohtani did in an elimination game, I would be hard pressed to find another playoff game that was as good as that one. And from a sports card perspective, I think this will be a good matchup, I think, for Vladimir Guerrero and then Ohtani. I mean, all of the Dodgers players are insane, but I really think and I think Ohtani is maybe the best baseball player of all time. I think at this point, it's not hard to argue that he might be the best of all time. So I think from a sports card perspective, what that means is that I think people really need to start looking into his cards a little bit more. I don't know how much longer he'll play. I mean, I know with Japanese players, they have to play until I think they're 26 or 27 in Japan before they can come to the United States. So if I were looking at Ohtani cards, I would be looking at those 2013 Japanese cards before I'd be looking at some of the Topps cards that he has. Now, he has a couple of Bowmans, he has a couple of Topps Chrome, a couple of Topps flagship rookies. It's a little bit confusing. So I would look at the 2013 Japanese cards. Really, I think that those are going to be ones that we're going to start seeing hit marketplaces. They're fairly rare. You don't exactly see them being sold all the time, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the next year or so, we really start to see some of those Japanese cards, the PSA 10s, the high grades, hit the market, because those cards are going to be the ones that you should be buying for Ohtani if you believe that, for the rest of his career, he's going to keep doing this. And I think this beginning part of his career, obviously he's a Hall of Famer, he's a World Series winner, he's a multiple-time MVP. And so I think that unless he has some sort of crazy turnaround, Ohtani is probably going to go down as the best baseball player of all time. I think even if he has a average to below average rest of his career, he's on a team and set up to win way more championships and maybe potentially win more MVPs. And he just went back-to-back 50 home runs. So I don't know. I find it hard to believe that there will ever be a player that, will be able to be as good as Ohtani. So I mean, again, I think players, it's very dangerous. It's high risk to be buying players that are still playing in their career. But I do think that with Ohtani, you're going to look at his cards and you're going to look at his career. And even if, like I said, the second half isn't as good, that the first half, I think, is really what is going to hold up the value, hopefully in the long term, for any Ohtani cards if you're looking to buy them right now. So it is Topps basketball week. I'll probably talk about that more on the 23rd, which will be tomorrow, because that'll be like the official release date. But some of the math has started to come out, which, as many of you know, I love math, I love lists. But some of the math that people have done on how many of these cards there are going to be coming out of Topps basketball, there's going to be 1.2 million base versions or base card versions of the cards. There's going to be, each player is going to have 1.2 million base cards that are going to be in all the different variations of products that you're going to see. From what I saw, there's about 8 or 9 different configurations for this product, everything ranging from hobby to jumbo hobby to, like, there was some sort of holiday Target exclusive, and that's not super surprising to me. I think that this should be a product where there should be a ton of them. And I hope that with other products, maybe the print run isn't as high. But with this one, I feel like with a base product or like a flagship product, there should just be as many versions or as many cards as possible. So that way people can get the card. Because I think on one hand, the scarcity and the rarity of these cards do make them valuable and make people want to buy them. But I also think that there should be definitely products where, you will be able to buy it for basically, you will be able to buy it for what it is selling for in retail. Like, I know that the boxes sold for 110 and then they doubled. I think they're still sitting around 200 right now. But I think that this product, as we see more of it come out, I do think that it probably drops in price a little bit. At least I hope that it does, so that way more people can get it. But the fact that, based on the math, there's going to be $1.2 million, there's going to be 1.2 million Cooper Flag rookies, like, just take that into account. And I know that people are probably going to, like, ignore the fact that this is just like a flagship set, and it's not like a, Topps Chrome, or it's not like a Bowman, I guess is different for basketball, but it's not like some of these, like, higher end, nicer, more rare sets. Like, the flagship set, like I said, should be one of these products that you can get your hands on no matter what, and then you can open it for what it should be. Like, you shouldn't be having to spend double the price to get the flagship set. So the fact that there are so many of these, I think, is good. I think that, unfortunately, they're not going to be rare, so don't expect them to be rare. You know that the first couple Cooper Flags are going to sell for like $3, $4, maybe even $1,000. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I know that Topps also is doing like the first card, which is like the first printed card of each of these players has like a stamp on it. I think they just did that with like the first or the 2 or 3 sheets that they come out with first. They put that stamp for first ever. So sure, that card's probably going to be pretty expensive. You're going to see the prices be higher right when the product comes out, and then, like it happens every single time, a couple weeks later, you're probably going to be able to buy like 10 of the same cards if you bought it first, versus like if you just waited, you can buy 10 of them versus 1 of them for basically the same price. I guess I will be wondering where this product will end up sitting in sort of the hierarchy, like if we're comparing it to Panini. Like, is this more of like a Donruss product or like an Optic, or is this more like Hoops, or is it more like, I think they do Absolute or Certified for basketball? Like, I've seen some commentary that this is supposed to be like a Hoops product, which I guess I hope it's maybe a little bit better than Hoops, but at the same time, Hoops is one of those ones where it's like, if you go to the store, you're probably going to be able to find it. Same with Donruss, like, you will be able to find that. So, like, if we're putting it in that category, I just hope that you will be able to find the product. Realistically, I probably will try and buy like a box or 2 and maybe hold on to a few boxes. Just, you never know what could happen really in the future. But ultimately, I'm hoping I can find this product for, $30 or $35 or $25, depending on what like the Targets and Walmarts around my area are selling it for, hopefully. That's all we've got for today's show. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about today's topics. Also, come back here to the Sports Card Nonsense YouTube channel every day for more daily nonsense. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.